On the bright and breezy afternoon of May 17, 2025, a spectacle unfolded against the iconic New York City skyline that sent shockwaves across two nations. The Cuauhtémoc, a majestic training ship of the Mexican Navy, collided with the venerable Brooklyn Bridge. It was a scene seemingly ripped from the pages of a maritime thriller, a stark contrast to the celebratory atmosphere that had accompanied the ship's arrival for Fleet Week. The Cuauhtémoc, a three-masted bark and a symbol of Mexican pride, was making its way up the East River as part of a multinational fleet participating in the annual Fleet Week celebration. Launched in 1982, the ship serves as a floating classroom for Mexican naval cadets, offering them invaluable experience in seamanship and navigation as they traverse the globe. This year's itinerary included stops at numerous ports, fostering goodwill and cultural exchange. However, a fateful miscalculation transformed this symbolic journey into a news story capturing global attention. As the Cuauhtémoc approached the Brooklyn Bridge, a sense of anticipation filled the air. Onlookers, tourists, and locals alike gathered on both sides of the East River, eager to capture the ship's passage beneath the bridge's iconic arches. But the festive mood quickly turned to one of disbelief and horror as the ship, seemingly unable to alter its course, continued on a collision course with the bridge. The moment of impact was as audible as it was visible. The top of the Cuauhtémoc's three towering masts, reaching over 150 feet above the waterline, struck the underside of the bridge with a sickening crunch. The masts, unable to withstand the force of the impact, snapped and partially collapsed, sending debris raining down onto the ship's deck below. The sound of the collision, a deafening boom that echoed across the harbor, was quickly followed by the piercing wail of emergency sirens as rescue boats rushed to the scene. In the immediate aftermath of the collision, chaos reigned. On board the Cuauhtémoc, crew members scrambled to assess the damage and attend to the injured. The sight of the once proud masts, now broken and dangling precariously, served as a stark reminder of the sudden and unexpected turn of events. First responders, their faces etched with a mixture of urgency and concern, swarmed the scene. Initial reports indicated that 19 people had sustained injuries, ranging from minor cuts and bruises to more serious fractures and head trauma. 4 individuals, their conditions deemed critical, were carefully extracted from the listing ship and rushed to nearby hospitals for immediate medical attention. While the human toll of the accident was the immediate priority, attention quickly turned to assessing the damage to both the ship and the bridge. The Cuauhtémoc, though still afloat, was clearly in no condition to continue its voyage. Its once pristine white hull was marred with scrapes and gashes, and its rigging, once taut and purposeful, hung in disarray. The Mexican Navy, in conjunction with the U.S. Coast Guard, immediately initiated a full assessment of the damage. The Brooklyn Bridge, a symbol of American ingenuity and resilience since its completion in 1883, also bore the scars of the collision. While initial inspections indicated that the bridge's structural integrity remained intact, the impact had left visible damage. Debris from the Cuauhtémoc's masts littered the bridge's roadway and pedestrian walkway, which were immediately closed to traffic. Engineers and inspectors, their faces grim, began the painstaking task of assessing the extent of the damage and determining the necessary repairs. As news of the collision spread like wildfire, fueled by the ubiquitous presence of smartphones and social media, the incident became a global topic of conversation. Amidst the official statements and press releases, the voices of eyewitnesses, their tones ranging from shocked disbelief to morbid fascination, provided a raw and immediate perspective on the unfolding drama. It was like something out of a movie, recounted Sarah Jenkins, a tourist from Iowa who had been capturing the ship's approach on her phone. One minute it was this beautiful ship, all sails unfurled, and the next thing you know there's this horrible crunching sound and the masts are snapping like twigs. John Martinez, a local resident who had witnessed the bridge's construction as a child, could only shake his head in disbelief. I've seen a lot of things happen on this river, but nothing like this. To think that something that big could hit something that strong, it's just hard to believe. Speculation about the cause of the accident ran rampant. Some theories focused on the possibility of mechanical failure, questioning whether the ship's steering or propulsion systems had malfunctioned at the critical moment. Others pointed to the challenging currents and wind conditions that often prevail on the East River, suggesting that a sudden gust of wind might have pushed the tall ship off course. Still others whispered about human error, questioning whether a miscommunication or lapse in judgment on the bridge of the Cuauhtémoc could have contributed to the disastrous chain of events. In the wake of the collision, a multi-agency investigation was immediately launched to determine the cause of the accident and to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. The U.S. Coast Guard, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, and the Mexican Navy all pledged their full cooperation and expertise, recognizing the gravity of the situation and the need for a thorough and transparent inquiry. The investigation, a complex undertaking involving interviews with crew members, examination of the ship's logbooks and navigational equipment, and analysis of weather data and radar tracks, promised to be lengthy and meticulous. Investigators would also delve into the training and experience of the Cuauhtémoc's crew, seeking to understand the decision-making process leading up to the collision. The incident served as a stark reminder of the inherent risks and potential consequences associated with maritime navigation, even in seemingly familiar and well-traveled waters. It also highlighted the importance of ongoing training, rigorous safety protocols, and clear communication, not only within individual crews, but also between ships and local authorities responsible for managing traffic in busy waterways.